and ghouls, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you guys are here for another fun video. I am Katie and you are watching my 31 days of Vlogtober, and we are on day number 18 now. So our prompt from yesterday was vicious vamps, so it's this guy right here, and I wanted to hear about your favorite films that have, you know, a vampire that's not of the sparkly persuasion. So these are the vampires that are going to keep you up at night. They're spooky and creepy. So we'll be getting into my picks for favorite vampire movies here in just a little bit. But I typically will start off with my song recommendation, but I'm actually going to switch things up today, and we will be doing my song choice with my television choice, because this song is directly from the TV show I'm going to be talking about today. So we're going to put that on a hold, and we're going to be talking about my book choice first today. So this is kind of a counterpart to the book that I showed you yesterday. So yesterday's recommendation was for the complete illustrated guide to herbs, and today's is the complete illustrated guide to crystal healing. So if you are getting into you know, witchcraft or something along those lines, and you're trying to learn a little bit about the different items that you can use in your repertoire, so herbs and crystal healing, this is a great book to read through. And much like the one from yesterday, this is not kind of a you sit down and read it all the way through. I mean, you absolutely can, but a book like this is really meant to be a guide. So if you were trying to learn about like Reiki crystal healing in general, there are chapters in here that will go directly over that. If you want to look at the general components and makeup of these gems, you can look at the beginning. It kind of goes over the rock cycle, crystal structure, the parts of the earth that create these crystals, and it does a really good job of explaining things kind of in a layman's term, you know. So it goes over, they give you some shapes and designs, and they go over like healing geometry, so cubic system, tetragonal system, orthorhombic system, triagonal system. So many things to learn about crystals. Cleansing your crystals, varieties of quartz, healing powers in general, like where the idea of crystal healing comes from, having healing sessions, visiting crystal healers, Reiki masters, grounding, breathing and focusing, protection and support, all of these fun things that if you are, like I said, interested in getting into witchcraft, these are kind of standard things you want to have a handle on. So all of this is very important. But then I really love, in the very back of the book, they have a crystal, what do they call it? A directory, a crystal directory. So you can go on this page, and it's already showing you some pretty gems there. But then it goes over, you know, the hardness of each crystal, the color qualities, things that you're going to look for in a really good specimen of the different gem. So it kind of goes over every single one of them. It goes over selenite, emerald, fluorite, and it gives some general information about each stone. So I really love this book, because like I said, sometimes I will find a crystal at one of the local witchcraft shops that I have available by me. In Toledo, we have one shop. It's called Once in a Blue Moon. We used to have a really great store called the Broom Closet that was right down the road from me, but I think with COVID and everything else, they've stopped with the storefront. They're still available online, thank goodness, but the storefront closed. So I was kind of bummed about that. But then about an hour and a half away from me in Lakewood, Ohio, there is a beautiful store called Coven. So if you are interested in getting into witchcraft and you live kind of in the northern Ohio area, Coven is kind of smack dab in the middle of the state. So it's right by like the Cleveland area, but it's kind of further in to the west. So like I said, it's about an hour and a half or so away from me, and it's definitely worth the drive every single time, because the owner of that company, is wonderful, and she has so many beautiful crystals, so many important books to read, tarot decks, anything that you can think of that can get you involved with your path to witchcraft. So I absolutely love Coven, and you should definitely check them out if you have the ability. You know, if you live pretty close by, take an afternoon and go check out the store. It's gorgeous. So again, I am going to highly recommend this book, The Illustrated Guide to Crystal Healing, because like I said, I think it's important if you want to go down this path that you should be kind of fully equipped and have your arsenal full of some important information. So it's a great book to have. Like I said, I bought this when I went to Barnes & Noble. It was on their discounted shelf area, and I think I spent maybe like $6.99 on it. So I double checked their website and then maybe check Amazon and to see if maybe a used bookstore has it available. But I absolutely love it, and like I said, I think it's a wealth of knowledge that will help you on your journey. So that is my book recommendation for today, and let's go ahead and get into my movie recommendation. So I have a couple for you. One is a series of vampire movies, and I do not have every movie in the series. I thought that I did, but I think at one point I was waiting to see if they would have a full collection put on Blu-ray, because I wanted to kind of just have them all in one place. Because I started buying the DVDs, but then when I realized they were making more and more movies, I was like, well, we'll hold off and see what comes out. So I think they did finally put that out, and I should probably just bite the bullet and buy it. But I've only got the first 3 movies in the series. There's 5 total, but I'm going to showcase the ones I have. So first movie that came out was Underworld. So this one came out in 2003, and it stars Kate Beckinsale and Scott Speedman, and it is an absolutely gorgeous movie. So I don't know if you're a fan of kind of dark undertones, but this whole series is just seeped in a dark undertone. The whole series, because of course it's about vampires, so they're not going to be walking around in the daylight, so everything is under the cover of darkness. And the blue tinges that they have in this series, I'm not a blue color fan generally, but I absolutely love watching these movies. They are dark and they kind of just absorb you into the storyline, and I think that they're absolutely incredible. Kate Beckinsale is a goddess in this. I think she is absolutely gorgeous. She kicks a lot of ass in this series, and I just really, really love the storyline between her and her counterpoint Michael, who's played by Scott Speedman. So like I said, this movie came out in 2003, and then we had Underworld Evolution that came out, I think, first. No, I can't remember. Yeah, this was 2006. So Evolution came out next, and that's this one right here. And so you move on from the storyline between Celine and Michael, and it kind of grows from there. So Celine is one of the leaders of the vampire coven that she's a part of, and Michael is just this normal guy. You know, he's a doctor by day, and he gets kind of caught up in this war that's been raging between vampires and lichens, or werewolves, for centuries. And he you find out later why he's been brought into this, because he is actually the son of somebody that has bred this this monster race, really. And so you get further into the story, you learn more things about Michael's character and Celine's character, and you really get attached to their love story. So, and then it moves on to Underworld Rise of the Lycans, which came out in 2009. And this is a backstory. So we don't have Celine and Michael in this one. This was kind of one of the birth of the war between the Lycans and the werewolves. So I really like this one because it's got Michael Sheen as the main source in this one, and I really like him as an actor in general. But then they came back 3 years later. The way these movies came out, it's so strange to me. I don't know if they planned on this or not. But the first movie was 2003, and then Evolution was 2006, and then Rise of the Lycans was 2009. And then we had Underworld Awakening that came out in 2012, and then 2015 or 16 came out with Underworld Blood Wars. So you really had like all of these like 3 years away kind of thing going on. I thought that was very strange, but I'm really sad that they kind of ended it with the fifth movie. The fifth one was definitely not my favorite, and even the fourth one was they were getting away from the story of Michael and Celine, because of course things happen in these movie series, you know, and time and distance, and I really just wanted more of their relationship. I really liked the dynamic those two had together. And so I was kind of bummed that they went the route that they did, but I still think that there's a lot of story that they can tell even after the 5th movie. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Underworld. If people ask me about it, I'll talk about Underworld all day long. I love those vampires. They are cutthroat, literally. They are ruthless. And the werewolf transformations in Underworld are absolutely extraordinary. I mean, we've had some great werewolf transformations over the years. You know, over that beautiful scene in Werewolves of London and or An American Werewolf in London. And then you had The Howling. You've had just so many lower budget films that still did a pretty badass job with werewolf transformation. You got Wolf Cop. You've got a lot of different things out there over the years that have utilized the werewolf transformation. But the Lycans in this movie are absolutely insane. They are terrifying, and but they're also a little sympathetic, you know, because you feel like, especially in the first couple movies, the Lycans have kind of gone underground because their race is dying out because of the vampires. And so you feel for those characters. And I don't know, I love those movies. They pump me up so much, and they're bloody and they're terrifying, and I think they're fabulous. So I would definitely recommend, if you've not started the Underworld series, you definitely should. Especially, like I said, if you like a really dark, gritty kind of movie. It's almost like a vampire noir story, you know what I mean? Because it's happening in the underbelly of the world. You know, the humans are just kind of blindly walking around, unaware that this world happens. And then further in the series, you know, they make themselves known. So now the humans are aware that vampires and Lycans exist. And so Celine and Michael become hunted because they both share a Lycan vampire connection. They both have both types of blood in them. So they become kind of these incredible hybrid creatures. And it's so good. It's just so good. I've never seen anything like it before. The director was Len Wiseman, who was actually married to Celine's character, Kate Beckinsale, and I don't think they're married anymore, unfortunately, but I think they were a pretty good duo, and they created some fabulous movies. So, like I said, I definitely recommend that if you've not seen the Underworld series, you should give it a chance. I think it's very entertaining, very scary, and all the bloody goriness you expect from a vampire or a werewolf movie, and you get that in spades with this movie. So definitely check out Underworld, and I would, like I said, go ahead and watch the whole series because I think it's really good. And I don't think you could stop after the first one. I mean, I could not wait for the next Underworld movie to come out. So, and like I said, the 5th movie kind of wrapped some things up, but I still feel like if they really wanted to, they could have kept going with it. And I don't know if it's just maybe Kate Beckinsale was like, and I'm done. I don't really want to do this anymore. Or just maybe they didn't want to kind of put more effort into prolonging a story, but still highly entertaining. And like I said, I would definitely recommend you check out Underworld. So my next recommendation today is for maybe the scariest vampire movie I've ever seen. This was the only movie, guys, only movie this has ever happened to me. So I bought the DVD before I saw the movie, and because I just thought I'm gonna love it. It was on sale at like Walmart or something, and I thought, well, we're just gonna buy it because it looks terrifying, and even if it's, you know, not a huge deal, I'll still watch it because I really like the characters in it. And I went ahead, I turned my lights off, I sat on my bed, and I was watching the movie. And I don't think I even got 10 minutes into this movie, and I had to go and turn my lights back on because I was like, oh my God, I can't handle this. So the movie I am talking about is 30 Days of Night. So I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I feel like a lot of people, if you are a vampire fan, you are absolutely going to love this movie. Oh my God. These are absolutely the most ruthless, terrifying vampires I have ever seen on the screen. And I'm sure that I'm probably, you know, missing some things because I'm still kind of a novice with everything horror, but I'm definitely trying to expand my knowledge, and I really, really love this kind of a horror movie where it is just ruthless. It's unrelenting. The whole movie is just one scary thing after another. So the premise with this is brilliant. Like I saw the trailer and I went, why the hell's nobody thought of this yet? So the premise is Barrow, Alaska. It is a town. It's one of the most northernmost points of Alaska, and it plunges itself at 30 days worth of just 24 hours of night. So for 30 days, you can guarantee that the whole town will be plunged into darkness. And so a lot of the residents will leave town for those 30 days. You know, they just can't hack the idea of not having any sunlight. But there's a group of these hardy individuals that, you know, hunker down and they'll stay in their homes for these 30 days. And normally every year it kind of goes without a hitch. Yeah, it's cold, but they, you know, stock up for the winter with all the food that they need, and everyone just kind of deals with it. But this year, a vampire coven kind of finds out about this place, comes to town, and ravages the town. The people that are left are just a small collection after the vampires have kind of come through and cleaned out, you know, what was left of the town. So I think there's only like maybe 6 to 8 people. They kind of hunker together and try to live out the rest of these 30 days waiting for the sun to come up. And it is so scary. It is such a scary premise. Like, of course, if you don't have time for the vampires to be sleeping and resting, what do you do? Where do you go? So they get hauled up in an attic in one house at one point. There is an absolutely terrifying scene with a vampire little girl. She's been transformed, and she is so scary. Oh my God. And she is ruthless. And the head of this vampire coven is played by Danny Houston, who is Angelica Houston's brother. And if you know who Angelica Houston is, she plays the Grand High Witch in the Witches movie. And Danny is like the Grand High Vampire in this movie. So you've got both of those covered with the Houston family. But oh my God, he is so scary because, like I said, these vampires are not giving any kind of mercy whatsoever. They are coming there, they want to kill and eat, and they don't care about anything other than that. So at the beginning of the movie, you find out right away something's not right. You meet Ben Foster, who plays kind of a Renfield character. You know what I mean? Like, he is this human character who wants to be changed into a vampire. So he's kind of told the vampire coven that he will go ahead and come to the town first and make it so that the people that are living there currently, there's no way they can leave. He kills off the sled dog team, which was terrible. It was so awful. But he murders all the dogs from the sled team, so they can't, you know, like, leave that way. He causes a accident, I think, at one of the electrical facilities. So, you know, you've kind of got everybody just kind of hunkered down and stuck in this place. And he's fully under the understanding that once he does this and the vampires feed, they're going to change him after that. And of course, as these things work, you know, the familiar or Renfield type character, they never make it out of it the way they want to. But I thought Ben Foster in this role was so good. I have loved Ben Foster since I saw him on the television show Flash Forward that was on Disney Channel years ago, like back in like, I think like 92 or 93, that show premiered on Disney. And I had such a crush on him. I loved him so much. So him and Jewel State were the characters in that show, and loved him. But then now to see him playing this role, it's like, holy shit, it's crazy. But he is so good at playing this utterly unhinged, deranged character who knows he's leading everybody to certain death, but he's got this idea in his head that, well, it's all for this cause. They're going to change me and I'll live forever. And, you know, it's crazy. But he plays this character so well. And Josh Hartnett is actually the main character in this. Josh Hartnett and Melissa George are the two leads. And Josh Hartnett is kind of the deputy, the sheriff in town, and he's kind of, you know, a good-natured guy who, you know, the worst thing he's got to do is lock up the local drunk for the night or whatever. So this really plunges him into uncharted territory, you know, and you've got other characters in this, you know, his brother is there, and Melissa George plays his ex-wife. They're kind of on the outs, and so she actually typically stays other places. She's actually just come back to Barrow for, I think, just to talk to Josh Hartnett's character, and she gets stuck there during all of this. So it is a truly terrifying story. Like I said, if I don't sell it to you with my excitement, you know, I don't know what else I can say. But honestly, this was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, because, like I said, I love horror. I can watch pretty much anything without batting an eye. I don't like torture stuff, and I don't like, I know we've already talked about it, but like torture porny stuff like Saw. I don't like Hostel, things like that, just because they're gross. You know, I don't like a horror movie that just relies on disgusting to kind of keep you involved. I like a story that has got a good storyline in general that kind of keeps you wanting to see what happens next. So if there's blood and gore, so be it, but there's also something else that keeps you wanting to watch it. So this movie definitely made me just want to watch it. And I was totally floored by the ending. I did not see that coming. And like I said, it is so terrifying. And then they messed it all up, and they decided to do a second movie. They did 30 Days of Night, like in Los Angeles or something. I haven't seen it because I think it's ridiculous. But they kind of follow the Melissa George character kind of as an afterthought. She moves to like California or something. But they didn't even get Melissa George back. They got another actress to play her character. So you knew it was going to suck when they couldn't even get the original actress to play the character again. So I have not watched it. I cannot give really a good review on it or anything like that. But this original 30 Days of Night is extraordinary. It was actually based off of a graphic novel, and yeah, I can't say enough good things about 30 Days of Night or Underworld, but definitely check those movies out. I also wanted to just give a quick shout out. I don't own these movies for some reason. I was trying to find them today, and I guess I don't have them, but I definitely think that you should check out the Fright Night films. The first Fright Night back in 1986, I think, with Chris Sarandon. That movie is so fabulous. I did not include them in this really because his vampire character is kind of quirky and funny. There are some elements of humor throughout those movies, but I did want to give them a shout out because I absolutely adore them. Even the recent one that they did, 2012, I think, that included David Tennant and what's his name? He passed away. He was such a good actor. Anton Yelchin. So Anton and David Tennant were involved in that one, and it was just fabulous. Those movies are so good. But like I said, they're brutal vampires, but there's also this sense of humor that they have because they almost have a little of humanity still left in them. With the Underworld vampires and the 30 Days of Night vampires, they are absolutely ruthless. And aside from Celine, because Celine's kind of special, all the other vampires that she deals with are ruthless bloodsuckers. So that's why these films made the cut and not Fright Night. But like I said, I did want to give a quick shout out to both of those films because that was a series where I could watch either one, and I absolutely love them both. I think that they did a terrific job with the remake. Toni Collette is in it, and Colin Farrell plays the head vampire character in this one. So it is just so good. So I definitely recommend you check out those movies too. But for my picks today, it is the Underworld series and 30 Days of Night. So let's move on to my song choice and my television choice for today. So like I said, the song choice is actually the theme song to the TV show I want to talk about. So I am talking about Stranger Things. So let's listen to a little bit of the Stranger Things theme song. It's so beautifully 80s. I love it so much. That's all I'm going to give you, because if you've not watched this series, shame on you. You should definitely watch it on Netflix. But, oh my gosh, it is such a good show. Can we just stop for a minute and talk about what a beautiful show Stranger Things is? Oh my God. It's like the perfect mix of so many things I love. It is a monster movie. It is an alien movie. It is a teen movie. It is a romantic comedy movie. I mean, it's all of these elements that are perfectly intertwined in this glorious 80s setting. I am definitely an 80s child, and watching the show takes me back to living in that time period and how innocent you were and how these kids get thrust into this crazy story. So they all live in a town called Hawkins, Indiana, you know, just kind of a small hometown, much like where I grew up, you know, cornfields everywhere and just, you know, just a small, insignificant little place for the most part. And then this little boy gets kidnapped. He disappears. Nobody knows what happens to him. So the first season, and I got the DVDs for them. So the first season is dealing with the disappearance of Will's character. So Will is one of the main boys in the group, and they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. And so they leave for the night, and Will doesn't show up to school the next day. Nobody knows where Will went. And then you're introduced to Millie Bobby Brown's character, who plays 11. And she kind of throws everything for a loop, because you can tell that there's something going on with this little girl, and she holds some very real powers. And you don't know if she's an alien, you don't know if she's some kind of a monster, you don't really know if something was created, you know, if these powers were kind of made in a lab and thrust upon her. You really don't know. And as the show progresses, you learn more about the boy characters as they're searching for their friend. And then once they're introduced to 11's character, the incredible dynamic that you have. And I just love this series. Man, if anybody wants to talk about a TV show, I will talk about Stranger Things forever. We are on 3 seasons currently. They are currently filming season 4, and I love it. So, like I said, I got the first season on DVD, and I also have the second season. I bought them because they're so cool. They look like old VHS tapes. So the first one, you know, it looks like this, but then it's a slip cover. So you pull it out and it looks like a VHS tape. And then you open it up. Well, if I can open it up. It's like, what am I doing here? And then you open it up and it's got all of this great stuff in it. It's got a little booklet that you can kind of look through here. And then you got, of course, the 2 DVDs available there. But, oh my God. I love the packaging. And it was on sale at Target for one of the holidays, I think. And it was on sale for like $6.99 for both seasons. And I went, sold. Oh my gosh. Because, of course, it's on Netflix, so it's never going to go away. It'll always be available on Netflix. But for the packaging quality, I couldn't say no to these. I thought that they were beautiful. So there's the back side of it with Joyce and her mysterious way that she can connect to Will. So, like I said, the show is part monster movie, part alien invasion type movie, part Stand By Me, part The Goonies, part, like I said, a beautiful little coming of age story, romantic comedy. It encompasses everything. So in that first season, you really get introduced to all the main characters. You have the three main boys. You've got Dustin and Lucas and Mike, and then you see that Will is the one that has been kidnapped, disappeared. And then they are introduced to 11, and so the four of them are kind of tasked in trying to find Will. And you've learned that he has gone to a place called the Upside Down, and it's kind of a place where everything is just, it's kind of like our world, but it's dark, and a creature lives there. So that's the first season. You kind of get entrenched in the story. In the second season, they have been able to find Will, spoiler alert, and bring him home, but something is not right with Will. Something is still going on with him. And so this season I loved so much because it was around Halloween. So the very first episodes, they're celebrating Halloween. They're going trick-or-treating, and there is a part in a pumpkin patch where all of the pumpkins have rotted overnight, and they can't figure out what's going on with the pumpkins, and the farmer thinks that it's his, rival across the way that's come over and poisoned all of his pumpkins. But you bring in Chief Hopper, who we are introduced to in the first season, but he has a really good kind of a starring role in this second season where he is tasked with trying to find out what's going on with the town. But I absolutely love it so much. And then again, the same way with this DVD box set. So you've got the front and the back, which are really cool, but it's made up like a VHS tape. So then you open it up, and it's the same way. It's got a little booklet for you to read through, and it's got some, I think this came with like some photos. Yeah, it came with some cute little like postcardy photos of the kids, which I thought was adorable. And then you've got the DVDs themselves. So this will come apart, that kind of folds down. And then you've got the DVDs inside there. So like I said, I bought both of these collections from Target. They were on sale for, I think I spent maybe $12 for both of the seasons. It was really cheap. It was a Black Friday deal. And I'm so happy that I have these so that I will never be without Stranger Things. Like I said, I don't think it's ever going away because it'll always be on Netflix, but even so, I think that this is definitely worth a purchase, and I absolutely adore them. So I gotta find and see if they have the third season out in the same capacity, because I would like to continue that series. The only other television show that I've collected all the box sets for is Psych, and I love my Psych collection, and I love my Stranger Things collection. So the third season was absolutely brilliant. The third season really gets you all of the 80s nostalgia. It's surrounding this huge mall that has opened up in Hawkins, and all the small mom and pop shops are closing down and going out of business because of the super mall that's kind of taken over. And so you get, if you were a product of the 80s, you have a lot of memories spending a lot of time at the mall. So that was a very wonderful season for me. I think season 2 is still probably my favorite because it had the Halloween elements. Season 3 is over the 4th of July week. So it is a summertime story, all the kids are together, and oh man, I just, aside from it not being Halloween, it was a excellent season, and I am so looking forward to what is going to happen with season 4. We had a huge cliffhanger at the end of season 3, and you know what I'm talking about if you have seen the series. And I'm not going to spoil it because, like I said, it's on Netflix, and I don't want to give away that portion of it. But season 4 looks to be absolutely incredible so far. So they kind of got interrupted with filming because of COVID, but I think that they are now back on set filming. I saw on Twitter they posted a picture of the clapboard showing that filming has resumed again. So I'm so excited for this season. I really wish that we could have gotten another one this year, but Lord knows we understand why it's not coming right now. But I'm so excited that Stranger Things exists. You know, it is just that quintessential show that it makes your heart happy, you know, because it is very, very akin to, you know, when I had my prompt of Children Will Save the Day, this was a very one that I was going to put on that day, but I thought, no, I want to kind of devote a little extra time to Stranger Things, so I thought I'd put it on today's prompt. It doesn't really have to do with vampires, but a lot of my days kind of, when I initially was going to do this, I was only going to do movie recommendations. I didn't really think I would do the books and everything else. So that kind of was a last second addition to my channel. So like I said, some of those prompts don't really go along with those parts of the story, but I love this series. And like I said, if you've not watched Stranger Things, give it a watch. I think you'll absolutely adore it. And like I said, I'm not entirely sure when season 4 is going to premiere, but they are actively filming it currently, and I am just thinking as soon as possible would be wonderful. So here's hoping that it arrives soon. And so I think we're going to end it there. Like I said, watch the seasons. There are, I think, like maybe 10 episodes per season, something along those lines. 8, 9, 10 episodes. And they're fabulous. Every single episode is wonderful. The kids are hilarious. You know, I can't say enough good things about these kids. So definitely check out Stranger Things. So let's move on to my next prompt for tomorrow. Let me get it off my board. Whoops. Don't ruin the board. It's been so good to you for so long. Okay, so tomorrow's prompt is called Spooky Sing-Alongs. So I want to hear about movies that incorporate a song and dance, or maybe a couple songs. There are a couple musicals out there, guys, that are horror related. So that's what I want to hear about tomorrow, is spooky sing-alongs. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. We'll be here same time, same channel, and I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're healthy, and we will see you in the next video.